Joining us now is Ojy Okpe, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Ojy.
What was that emphasis this morning?
Why are you laughing?
I'm tired, Dr. Bati. Leila, please, from next week, can you take over?
You see the way I look at Dr. Bati?
I didn't pronounce your name well.
Pronounce
Your
it,
name is Ojy Okpe.
Good morning,
Don't worry, Ojy. From next week, I will be taking over your entrance. Good morning.
Well, good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending today in Nigeria. On Wednesday, the first batch of Nigerians evacuated from the United Arab Emirates landed in Lagos after it made a U-turn when a pregnant woman on board the aircraft went into labor. Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Oyema, via his Twitter handle, announced that the flight conveying 256 Nigerians evacuated from the UAE landed at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, hours after it was originally scheduled. According to Chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri, the Nigerian woman delivered her baby on a plane and is currently at the hospital in Dubai. I mean,
wow. I love air baby stories.
I know.
I'm like, where are you from?
But this is what happens because, I mean, the lady's been stuck in Dubai for, I guess, months, right? I don't think that she intended to travel while she was that pregnant. The only issue is that could it be a premature birth? Because I feel like the airlines don't allow women when they are in that trimester to travel. Am I correct?
Well, whatever the truth is, the truth of the matter is that the baby was safely delivered.
Yes.
And we've been told that mother and baby, a baby boy, as Nigerians say, a bouncing baby boy, in very good condition. So our congratulations to Mrs. Kafaya Atamushon. That's the name of the lady. And now, yesterday, the first batch of, evacuees arrived in Nigeria. There's been conflict in terms of the number, whether it's 256 or it's 265. I hope there will be proper clarification later. And the Nigerian government had told us before now that 4,000 Nigerians from different parts of the world had indicated interest to be evacuated. And they gave conditions. You must have a COVID-free certificate. You must be prepared to pay for your own movement. And then there is a third clause that when they are quarantined, they will also be responsible for their upkeep. So I imagine that the persons that arrived yesterday are already in quarantine. But I think
they're not allowed to quarantine in their homes.
In a facility provided by government. But then when they say they will be responsible for their own upkeep. Now, what happens to persons who cannot afford to take care of themselves? I think that the authorities should look in that direction and see how they can intervene. In the meantime, the Nigerian government says it can only evacuate 400 persons at a time. Now, that means that
it's going to probably take a few months.
Or it can only isolate 400 persons at a time. That means so many people out of that 4,000 will still be stranded abroad.
Correct. 10 batches in the center.
Yeah, once you have 256 already, and then your capacity is just 400, then it means people have to wait for like 2 weeks before they are evacuated. So we have to take a second look at how that works out.
Yeah, the point that you made about whether or not they can take care of themselves is a valid point, because remember, these people have been stranded. You know, it's not like they plan to stay longer than they wanted to stay. So
they
that's
already also have to pay for their tickets.
their tickets and all of that stuff. And you know that some hotels, they said, you know, they've had a really hard time trying to find a place to quarantine them. So that's another issue that the federal government is facing at this point. Well, let's take another story. Nigerian Bishop David Oyedepo has kicked against the revised lockdown directive, which prevents churches from operating. The federal government had placed a ban on religious and social gatherings as part of measures to stop the spread of COVID-19. In a now viral video, the pastor questioned why markets could be open for 6 hours daily, while churches have remained closed. Let's take a listen.
There is something wrong. For people to be allowed to be in the market for 6 hours, and can't be in church for 2 hours. Man, it's an upside-down way of looking at things. Amen. Which one is more orderly? The market or the church? No. I can smell a rat. The Lord spoke to me on it so strong yesterday. I can smell it right. Behind all this is how do we stop the church from exploding?
Do you I'm gobsmacked because, I mean, it's the obvious can be pointed out to those with common sense. Of course, markets, essential services, people need food. We don't even have to get into that. But is there something, is he all right? Is he actually,
well, you know what,
is he all
Leila,
right?
You're not alone. Let's take some quick reactions. He's come under fire on social media. One user, Lola, wrote, what Bishop Oyedepo didn't know is that if we don't attend church for 1,000 years, we won't die. But if we don't go out to buy foodstuff, we will die of hunger. Religion is not an essential good. These frauds keep showing face every day. I'm ashamed. Another user, Ifa Fusho, wrote, the same Bishop Oyedepo that can't save people who are infected with coronavirus, but he's here using style to beg for 2 hours service so he can continue exploiting people via being a pastor. That man is worse than Yahoo boys. His sheep will come and defend him now. Let's take our final tweet from Oluwaseyi, who wrote, may God forgive you all. I saw the message live just some minutes ago. Bishop Oyedepo said the lockdown is not political, but demonic. It is influenced by Satan to destroy the church, which cannot stand.
Well, very quickly, Leila, by the way, I agree with you, but I think he's all right.
No, are you sure?
He's a highly
I'm
respected.
I'm a bit concerned.
He's a highly respected.
No. Anybody can be a highly respected.
Anyway, let's not question, his state of health. But quickly, I think we're beginning to see Christian leaders, church leaders, one after the other, trying to intimidate and blackmail the Nigerian government on the issue of lockdown. And I think that the authorities, before this becomes a pattern, should begin to engage those church leaders and tell them that what they are doing is counterproductive and that they are using the pulpit to intimidate the state.
Yeah.
The freedom of religion does not extend to that level. First, it was Chris Oyakhilome.
Only yesterday.
Only yesterday or the other day, and the other month, from 5G, he was talking about the devil trying to suppress the church. And you could see the same sentiments being expressed by Bishop Oyedepo of the Winners Chapel. Tomorrow, you will be surprised. You will find another Pentecostal church leader saying more or less the same thing. I think we have to, the authorities, the relevant authorities should talk to them.
They need to nip it in the bud.
Now, two, why is it important? It is important because of the kind of sentiment that has been expressed by Oyakhilome and Bishop Oyedepo.
Absolutely.
They are saying they are smelling a rat. Which rat is that? What they are saying is that this is an attack on the church.
Because the tithing sector is suffering.
It's Satan.
The tithing sector, the tithing industry is suffering. That's the issue here. Like aviation.
Well, you can pay your tithe by
no. Like we heard the other day, we don't understand mobile money in Nigeria.
Oh, yeah, right about that.
Bishop Oyedepo says there is a gang up against the church. Who is ganging up against the church? The only enemy that we see here is COVID-19. It's not government guidelines or regulation that is ganging up against church. And let Bishop Oyedepo and Pastor Oyakhilome be reminded that it is not only churches that have been asked to shut down and go online.
What about schools?
Mosques, because this is a religious matter. Mosques have also been asked not to have any gatherings. So this must not be turned into a Muslim leadership versus Christian leadership matter. And that's why they need to be talked to.
Yeah.
If it means engaging these Christian leaders who are promoting this kind of dangerous rhetoric, the government must do it.
Because at this point, this rhetoric is criminal. That's the issue. At this point, this rhetoric is criminal.
Right.
You can't hold that much influence, and this is the influence that you're putting out there. It's actually really scary.
It's completely
And this insistence that more healing takes place in the church rather than in the hospitals. Now, that has not been proven scientifically. That's spiritual sentiment.
Yeah.
And it can mislead people. If you open the churches now, more people will be running to those churches than to isolation centers.
Like I said, the tithing sector is suffering. They've got to say something.
Like I said yesterday, and I'll keep saying it, if these pastors really believe in the healings that they preach, they should just go to the isolation centers. They are open. You can go there, just stand right there, pray for these people.
And I'm sure they would love it.
They need healing.
Spiritual guidance.
Correct.
No, they would love to have some spiritual guidance. Go and offer yourselves to the isolation centers and do God's work. Do God's work.
I love that.
I like that too.
Very well said.
Ojy, thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Thank you,
And we will see you tomorrow on Friday.